G'day! In today's video, I'll be clearing a headphone jack on a iPad A2197, also known as a 10.2 inch iPad. Now I've had it on my heat pad here for about 10 minutes, so the actual frame is very toasty to touch, probably a bit too toasty. But more importantly, I'll be using isopropyl alcohol and a thin metal pry tool, which is quite thin. As a comparison, this is basically the bank card thickness, considerably smaller. So what I usually do is start in the top left hand corner. I spray isopropyl onto the pry tool itself and just work my way under. Try and keep the pry tool flat and parallel with the display or with the glass, as you don't want to dig down too far, as you may, or angle it too much, as you may cause the screen to bend and break. Now I'm only trying to go into around about here. I'll zoom you in a bit. So I want to get to about here and pry down the screen. I'll go back up to the top. Now I'm going to grab that thicker card that I just had and put that in. As there is some flexibility to the display, just not a huge amount. And it's best to apply the force, if you have to apply force, it's best to apply it underneath, pushing upwards rather than in and up. So as you see, I've managed to get some separation here. You can still see the factory adhesive. There we go. So now I'll work on this corner up here. Do note most of the caution, or the most amount of care you require, is over here and down here. So I'll proceed to cut into here. Back and lift. So far so good. Now it's getting up to being cautious territory. I'll work my way down here and back and twist. So now I'm going to stop there for a minute. Just lift up the screen slightly again. Because with the heat it tends to rebond itself back down, which at this point in time I don't want to happen. I will when I'm finished, but not just yet. Now I'm going to work on this corner down here. I'll put my pry tool into here, just so it doesn't bond back down. And now I'll put some more isopropyl and proceed. Now I need to be a bit cautious around the home button. Now I'm only trying to pry into it around about here. Just enough that the bond gets broken, but not enough that I'm actually opening it up. So now I'm going to try and open it like a book. I'll jam this down a little bit. There we go. Bingo. We are now in. I did get some isopropyl on the touch panel on the inside there. Mostly that was okay. So once we get to here, I tend to leave the touch panel sitting upwards on a slight angle. Not much though. Typically if it's opened up wide like a book, more dust is going to land on it and settle on it. So if I leave it upright, leaning up against my microphone here, whoop, safe. It should hopefully remain relatively dust free during this. So now I'm going to take out the display. Now the display, I'm pretty sure in each corner does have a little dobble of glue. So we will have to break that as well, which is pretty straightforward. Another screw, and then the next screw, or the last screw. Which I'm just going to give up and just push straight down. There we go. Sorry you can't really see that one. That's okay. Now from here, I'll just wiggle this over. I'll show you on this corner up here. If I can get it to focus. There we go. So around the outer edge, along here and here, there's a slight bit of a black adhesive. What I typically do to break that is I push in the hole, or beside it or in the hole, and just push it just slightly, like that. That should be enough to hopefully break that adhesive. There we go. To one side. Now if I slide it over to here, I'll do the same over here. As I would much rather break these white tabs than the actual display itself. No, that's not quite doing it. There we go, that's lifted it. And lift it up and out. And you can see the black adhesive that has been on the corners. Now from here I usually cheat a little bit. And I usually take out a single screw, lift it up and back, and I typically fold it over from there. I'll bring in a bit more tape so I can pull that out completely. Fold that back down. And from here, I'm going to push a pin, or my tweezers, through there. We need them to be fairly pinpoint and precise, or fairly small, just so we're going to pierce the plastic. There we go. Push. As you can see, that is leaving here. And from there, you can either make it bigger, or attempt to pull it from the front. I won't do that just yet. I'll leave that in. And there we go, one clear headphone jack. So from here, we're just going to do the reverse of what we just did. Open it back up, rest the display, lift up your screen, and feed the headphone jack back through. Typically I get that screw back into position first. There we go. Push it flat. Put your screen back down. Put your screws back into it. One, 2. Three. And 4. Then from there you want to give your screen a quick clean if it did get dirty in that process, which typically it will, but at least you can clean the screen with a microfiber cloth. Trying to clean the touch panel on the inside, it usually drives you a bit mad. So hopefully you can just only have dirt and grime on the display. Then from there, you should be able to, a bit of fluff there, lay your existing display touch panel down, and you can either freshly tape it back down, but usually if you haven't fully cleared the adhesive, what you could probably do from here is just simply heat it up, put some books on it, some heavy weights on it, just to push that touch panel back down, and it should hopefully adhere reasonably well from there. Anyway, that's how to clear, one method on clearing the headphone jack on an iPad 10.2. Hope this helps you, and remember, be careful lifting that screen out. Bye.